Hey guys, in this video I'm going to run you through the key features and the menu system of the new Blackmagic Video Assist 12G HDR external recorders. Now there are two sizes available, there's the 5" and the 7" version, and of course that's referring to the actual size of the screen. And that screen is one of the big selling points of these new recorders because it's rather bright, it's 2,500 nits, so that's going to be perfect for monitoring in bright daylight, in the direct sunlight, and also for monitoring that HDR content. Now, these recorders will also allow you to record in various flavors of ProRes and with certain cameras, Blackmagic RAW, up to 4K 60 frames a second. Looking at the 7" model, on the one side we have two full-size HDMI 2.0A and two full-size 12G SDI in and outs. There are also two mini XLR inputs that can provide 48 volts phantom power. On the other side, there's a lock-in DC power connector for the mains power unit that's supplied, dual UHS 2 SD card slots for your recording media, a 3.5mm headphone jack for audio monitoring, and a LAN connection for a remote record trigger. Underneath, there's a USB-C port so you can attach an external SSD drive to be used as another form of recording media. The screen is housed in an all-metal body, and with 3 1/4" 20 mounting points on both the top and bottom, you've got plenty of options for how you might want to rig this solid unit. The bright LCD screen can handle both Rec 2020 and Rec 709 color spaces, and can even handle 100% of the DCI P3 format. On the rear are two slots for Sony L-type batteries, providing longer run times than the LP6 batteries that the first generation used, and these are hot swappable too. The real difference with the 5" model, other than the size of course, is that it doesn't have any analog audio inputs. It has the smaller BNC connectors instead of the full-size ones, and has a single SD card slot for recording and doesn't have that LAN port. Okay, so now I'll run you through the menu system so you can really see the features that you get with these recorders. So this is the default view, and starting from the top left, we can see the codec that we're recording in. We've got the format that it's detecting that's coming from our camera, so we're sending 4K 25 frames a second DCI. We've got our time code, we've got our source, which obviously we can select between SDI and HDMI, our battery level indicator. Then at the bottom, we've got the ability to record and play back all of our clips. We've got our storage media, and at the moment we just have the one card that's in there. And then we've got our audio levels. So let's first start off with the main menu, and we can access that by the top right icon there. And here we can change our input between SDI and HDMI. We've also got our codec options for recording. At the moment we're on ProRes 422, but we've got the various flavors of ProRes in there. We've also got DNX HR, and we've got Blackmagic RAW. Now Blackmagic RAW will only work with certain cameras. It will be coming with the EVA1. I think it works with the C300 Mark II, and more will be added in the future. We've also got our trigger record, so this is if you're using the LAN connection on the 7". We've got our audio channels for recording. We can record from 2 channels to 16 channels of audio, so you've got plenty of options there. And then at the very bottom, we've got an option for drop frames. So if our storage media, if our card's not quick enough for the format that we've chosen to record in, we can either tell it to alert us that we're dropping frames, or we can actually tell the Video Assist to stop the recording, because obviously we want to assess that and put a card that's actually going to be quick enough for the codec that we're recording in. So if we go across to the monitor tab, this is where we can access quickly some of the monitoring tools that we have available. We've got Clean Feed, we've got Display 3D LUT, Zebra, Focus Assist, Frame Guides, Grid, False Color, and Blue Only. And we can just toggle those on and off, and we'd see that when we go back to the main screen. Going across to the right, we've just got a few more settings to tweak the Focus Assist type, whether or not we want peaking or colored lines, what color we want those lines to be, and of course anamorphic D-squeeze, as well as our LCD screen rotation if you wanted to mount it upside down. Going across to audio, we've got the ability to change from mic to line level, and we also have the ability to supply 48 volts phantom power just at the tap of a button. You can actually hear that kick in when I trigger that on and off. We've also got padding as well for -15 dB, as well as of course our actual gain control there. That's all we have for the audio controls. We'll go over to setup. This is more just the general setup of the device, the name, the firmware that we're running, and there's a few other things in there, but I'm not going to spend too much time discussing that. And then we've also got our LUTs. Now of course you can load in your own 3D LUTs into this device, but it does also have some preset ones in there, of course. They're all Blackmagic, because it is a Blackmagic recorder. So you can literally just select those based on the camera that you're using and overlay that so you've got some confidence with what your image might look like when you get into post and grade it. So that's the main menu system. I'm just going to jump back out of that. So let's look at the actual monitoring tools that you've got with this. Now to access them, it's the top left corner of the screen there. And you've got your zebras, and we can toggle that on and off and also set the level that we want them to show. We've got our focus assist. Again, we can toggle that on and off. We've got our frame guides, and you've got lots of different options in here. As you can see, on the right hand side, it'll tell you what ratio we're working in. We've got a grid, we've got false color, and then we can also control the brightness of the video signal as it's displayed on the screen. And you can see I can slide that over and set it to where I want. I'm going to set that to 50%. It is worth noting that when you do any of these, it's not actually burning that into the video signal, or the video recording, should I say. It's purely just there for monitoring purposes. So you can change this as much as you want, knowing that what's going to actually be recorded is the actual signal that's just coming straight from the camera. So we can have some control over the brightness of the video signal as it's displayed, but we can also control the brightness of the actual monitor itself. So at the moment we're at 2,500 nits, which is the full brightness, and obviously we can have this as low or as high as we want. Of course, the higher it is, the brighter the screen is going to be, so if you're using batteries, it is going to run a little bit quicker. And finally, we can control the saturation of the video signal coming in. So if you want to see it at grayscale, you can do. So to jump back out of that, just click that button, we'll go back to this main screen. Now for waveforms and scopes, it's this button up here. So if I click that, the moment we're on video, which of course is just displaying that video signal. If I want to go in waveform, I just tap waveform, and then we can see how that shot is measuring on this waveform here. We can also tap into parade, and it will switch over to RGB parade. We've got vector scope, if I just click that, and we've got histogram. Now if I just go back to waveform, leave it on that. What's kind of cool is that you can actually do picture in picture, so I can bring up our shot here and have that on screen at the same time as this waveform. Another option, if I just minimize that, if we go into the settings, is that I can actually adjust the brightness of the waveform coming through, but I can also have our shot coming through in the background, so I can sort of see both things at the same time. Again, you've just got a couple of different options for how you want to display your scopes and waveforms, which is quite a nice touch. And then of course to get back, we just click that button, we'll go straight back to the main page. Now if you want to as well, you can just swipe down on the screen and it will get rid of the bottom bar, just so you can see your shot in its full entirety. Swipe down again or up and it will come back, which is quite nice. We can also double tap and that will do a 2x punch and zoom, so we can double check our focus. Great for, you know, confidence that you've got your shot actually in focus, of course. Now at the bottom, like I say, we've got our recording media, we just got the one card in there. So if I tap on that, it's saying how much we've got left in terms of recording time for the current codec that we're recording in. If we want to format the cards, it doesn't matter if it's an SD card or an SSD drive, we can literally just select how we want to format it, the name of it, and we can format it straight from the Video Assist. Super quick to do. You've got a few steps to get to that point just to make sure that you don't do it by accident. Now, all that needs to happen if we want to record, we just hit this record button, we can tell that it's recording because 1, it's gone red, and 2, the time code at the top has gone red and it's running. To kill the record, of course, we just press stop. That will stop the recording. If we want to play it back, we just press play. This will turn us back into sort of the playback mode, and we can see our arrowhead here. We can switch around the different clips. We can play for all our clips in one timeline if we want to. And all the tools that I showed you before, we can actually still use them in the playback mode as well. Now, as we've been filming, one of our batteries at the top, the icon has turned red, which means that it's got relatively low capacity left, so we may want to change that out. And what is nice, as I said before, is that these are hot swappable, so I can literally take battery number 2 out while still recording, get that swapped over, and it doesn't actually interrupt any of our shoot, which is quite nice. So I hope you found that run through useful. If you want to find out some more information about these recorders, then just look in the description and you'll find links to the Holden website and also our other social media channels. If you've got any questions, do just pop them in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. So thank you very much for watching.